We are officially live.
Hey.
Thank you for clicking on, everybody. It is Indiana Rocks. Special Friday episode.
Oh, yes.
We got to do part 2 of Indiana's Woodstock because you had to leave part 1 and all wrong.
Yeah.
You know, after you left. So I ran about 3 minutes worth of footage and then we stopped. So we left off. Again, thank you all for clicking on. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. I've got to see here where we are. And there we go. Wait a minute. No. There we go. That's what I want. Let's get like this. How's that look? No. Jeez. There we go. All right, there we go. So we'll start off kind of where we left off with the bands that were at this festival. Bull Island was the now Soda Pop Festival. And the Faces, Joe Cocker, Sabbath, with Sabbath with Ozzy, Allman Brothers, The Doors, Fleetwood Mac, Can Heat, John Mayall, Cheech Chong.
Cheech and Chong was the only one out of those that actually showed up.
The only headliner that was there.
Yeah.
The Doors didn't. I've done some research since we did the other episode. The Doors didn't even show up, according to most people. I've got one report that they were there.
I thought they were
set up on the side of the stage to roll out to middle stage, and then ended up taking everything down.
Yeah, Gentle Giant was another one that did that.
They were set
up.
They were set up.
Go and shut it off.
Okay. Down here, Flora Leach and Eddie.
I don't remember that one.
Okay, you know who that became?
Flo and Eddie.
Flo and Eddie, exactly, exactly. Fluorescent shortened to Flo. They got rid of Leach, and it became Flo and Eddie.
They were
any idea?
Turtles.
Any?
Turtles.
Yeah.
Flo
and Eddie, the Turtles became any idea who Delbert is? It is. That was Delbert McClinton at that show.
Oh. Well, I must have missed it. It was totally possible.
And there were other bands that played that are not on the bill. One was CK Thunder out of St. Louis, and Chuck Keel in the CK Thunder, the guitar player.
Okay.
And Bertha played.
Yeah, they were right there with around Cheech and Chong. It rained that night. It was kind of miserable.
And Bertha, 4-piece, 5-piece, 5-piece, right?
Yeah,
5-piece band from all-girl band. Kind of preceded the, the Go-Go's were bands. Who else?
I don't know. They sure don't look like. Well, some of them do.
You remember what Bertha looked like back then?
No, that was when my eyes was about burning out because it was when it rained and we were sitting around the fire and the fire blew the smoke right where we were, and you couldn't really sleep at that point. But I could hear them, and I could hear Cheech and Chong. And it seemed like they were right in the middle of Dave's Not Here. Yeah. And then it kind of...
Yo, man, Dave's Not Here.
This is Dave, man.
No, man, this is Dave. No, Dave's not here.
Yeah, I wished I was coherent for that. That would have been nice. It was just kind of in the twilight zone.
No, I'm slipping into the twilight zone.
Yeah.
There's a madhouse. So Brownsville Station,
Yeah, they were kind of, you know.
Canned Heat.
Yeah.
You remember those
Yeah,
those
yeah.
performances?
Yeah, Canned Heat had to play like overtime, and they said they were going to, they'd play all night, and people cheered, and some people went, "Oh God, no." They're okay for a little while.
Canned Heat.
Yeah, I mean, all the songs
Going up
kinda
the country, baby, don't you wanna go?
Yeah, yeah.
Going to places I ain't never been before. You do it better than I do.
Yeah.
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 Give us.
Going up the country. Yeah, I mean they were a boogie band, and that's cool, you know. But just I only take so much of it.
Yeah. Okay, interesting question here. Before this is rare footage. The Indiana State Police were undercover in the crowd, which is you automatically assume that law enforcement is undercover in any crowd you're in, no matter
Yeah, but they were.
They didn't expect. They were prepared for
30,000.
50,000 at max.
Yeah.
And who knows how many were actually there.
Yeah.
Tommy Chong said 800,000, but
yeah, it was
Tommy
a lot.
Tommy was up on the stage looking back, and he was probably wigged out of his gourd.
It looked like Woodstock. As far as you could see, it was people. We got there. When we got to the stage, there wasn't hardly anybody there. It was Friday at twilight, and then Saturday morning we got up, went, walking to the stage. We had to sneak in because all I had was $14.
Did you take like sleeping bags and a pup tent, or
no
crackers and sausages?
No.
Those little sausages in that yucky ass. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The Vienna sausages, yeah, nasty.
Oh yeah,
gelatin.
You can't hardly get the first one out without tearing it up.
You didn't take none of that to eat?
No.
What did you eat? What'd you drink? Because last time you said you went down there with $14.
Yeah.
And you came back with $14 after spending 3 days at a rock festival.
Yeah.
And you didn't buy a T-shirt, obviously.
No.
Were they?
Didn't see T-shirts. I'm sure they were.
Were they selling anything?
Yeah. There was food trucks and guys walking around with the Eat at Joe's
sandwich board.
Yeah, sandwich board, and it would say blotter acid, $1 a hit. Or Acapulco Gold, $10 a four finger lid.
I was never at anything like that. The biggest, and that was a lot more country than this was. Not that there weren't things going on, but it wasn't anything like what you're describing.
Yeah.
Okay. For those that don't know, you've been playing music for a long time now.
Yeah, since I was 14.
And you were 16, 17?
16.
16 when this happened?
Yeah.
Okay. You had been in a band?
Yeah.
Okay.
For about 2 years.
One of the guys, how many guys in the band were with you? In your band?
3.
3 of the guys in your band were with you?
Myself, Mark Sipe, and Larry Lucas.
Okay. All right. Shout out to Mark, or rest in peace, Mark Sipe. Shout out to Larry Lucas. monster guitar player. We've talked about this. Mel together in my basement for like 20 years writing original music. Okay, how did you hear about it? Let me go ahead and start this because this is 20 minutes long. This is footage from the Indiana State Police, and I'm assuming they're not going to show a lot of music, but
be able to hear something.
no, there's no volume.
Oh,
there's no volume. Okay. Yes. All right. I wanted to make sure that this was coming out, going out on the in the studio. And you might see yourself here.
Yeah.
Because I'm imagining since it was the state police, the focus was trying to catch people selling drugs.
Yeah.
Looked like it was kind of sparse. So this is probably the first day.
It's probably.
But that looks like, look at all those cars.
We got there. We walked to the stage.
Okay, there's the stage. We walked to the stage on Friday.
Went to sleep Friday evening, and it was pretty sparse. And then when we woke up on Saturday morning, it was every step you took was either over something.
And Saturday when the concert,
Saturday morning
was when the show, the festival was supposed to start.
Yeah.
When the soda pop was supposed to be celebrated.
Yeah.
Okay. How many bands, and be honest with me, because musicians, we all know that there are bands that have been just poor players.
Yeah.
All right. How many bands at this festival did you guys think, man, we would be better than them? Any?
Well, at that time, I was only 16.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's the 16-year-old bravado.
Yeah, there were.
Them guys suck. We could.
Yeah.
Was there any like that?
There were a few.
Yeah.
Canned Heat was one.
Canned Heat was one.
Yeah.
That's kind of like that's the Canned Heat thing's what kind of put it into my mind. So what did you eat? What did you drink? You didn't spend any money.
We scrounged it, I guess. Hell, I can't remember. Hell, the guy busted the top off of probably all 6. They only had 6 hand pumps for water, and
you took like canteens and jugs so you could take water back to your thing.
The idiots broke the pumps, so there wasn't even water. But they, the guys that come out on stage, a friend of ours showed up there, Bob, and he was on the stage throwing, drinks out to people, and
Did he toss some your way? He see you
Yeah,
guys?
he tossed. I don't think he saw us. No.
Oh, okay.
But, but we managed. And the day that we survived on weed and music and people passing around wine bottles and stuff like that. Yeah.
Weed and music.
Yeah.
That wasn't you, was it?
No.
Okay. Your hair was longer then.
Yeah.
Again, this is thank you all for watching, for clicking on. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the share if you want to help support the channel. MERICANDUFUS with a $sign in front of it, a Cash App, or you can leave us a super chat here. We're looking at rare footage taken by Indiana State Police undercover at the Bull Island event. It was the Erie Canal Soda Pop Festival. This is part 2 of it, and this is footage that okay, you want to talk about the trench? Rarely, if ever, been seen. The trench footage But that trench was originally cut to keep people from pulling up to the stage, and it became kind of an open,
Yeah.
an open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of space there to just walk right on in. All you have to do is step right over that.
And you're basically in.
Yeah. You know, as we were coming in, we met a couple of guys. Security's too tight. You'll never make it if you're trying to get in for nothing. You know, I had no choice. You know, and so we just kept on walking, and pretty soon there it is, and yeah, there it is.
And did you like? You didn't have sleeping bags. You didn't have a tent. You just crashed on the ground.
I think Mark brought a couple of blankets. You know, but that was about it. It wasn't very well thought out.
All right, so talk us through that. How did you hear about it? Because I lived at that time. I lived maybe 10, 15 miles from where you lived,
Yeah.
and maybe Redbone, maybe the Disbro boys might have known about Iceland. It. How did you find out about it?
Well, the guys from Newcastle, Kenny, rest in peace, Kenny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild man.
Yeah. He was a good guy.
He was.
And all of them guys and we were, playing, and so it was on WNAP all the time. The Buzzard.
Wrath of the Buzzard.
The Wrath of the Buzzard. I love that station.
93 WNAP.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we found out about it. It was just like, oh hell, let's go.
That was the next question. When did you decide you were going to go? Once you heard about it.
A couple of days.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said, well, hell, let's just shove us got in there. Look at these guys. You're immortalized, dudes.
Okay, you said that there were a lot more naked men than women, and they were drawing a lot of the attention.
Well, in the venue, yeah.
Evidently, on camera as well. Apologies, I should have figured out there'd be nudity.
Oh yeah.
But
look at these. Oh.
2 girls.
No.
Yeah. And the cops just standing there filming.
Oh yes.
Constantly.
No. Holy mother of pearl. Don't shut the camera off. And some of them have their civvies on.
All right. I didn't know this. I didn't know this was going to be.
Yeah.
I should have figured the Indiana State Police would shoot like a stag film.
Yeah.
Showing all the what they call it, FOPs, Fraternal Order Police Lodges. Illegal gambling and moonshine nights.
Oh yeah, they're in there wasted drinking beer all day, and then drive home. Mobile Sub Pub. You know what that said?
I think it did.
OD tent or something. Yeah.
Keep on trucking with the dude with the 3 long steps. Attention.
Yeah. Furry Freak Brothers.
Lid number 2.
Yeah. That was. We were right. That looked like Mark walking there.
It did a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah.
And Primeval and one of the 5 members one of the 5 people in your group?
Yes.
Okay, this guy looks like he's
Yep.
rolling a clove cigarette.
Yeah.
Oh, that wasn't clove.
Oregano.
Oregano.
Yeah.
Oregano. He's like, look over at the cop. Catches doing something, man.
Jethro Tull fan. He had a
Mask. Somebody selling
mask. Who knows what it was?
Okay.
You know, I didn't buy nothing.
There's this one of the signs you're talking about, guys walking by grass
Yeah.
for $20. I was gonna ask how much was like a four-finger.
Like $25. But you didn't know what
You didn't
it
get
was.
4 feet,
Yeah.
and you weren't sure if you were smoking Iowa hemp or
Yeah, Peyote County. Not peyote.
not peyote.
Pulaski County.
Pulaski County
Ditchweed.
ditchweed, and that happened a lot.
Oh,
People
yeah.
go over there and bring back garbage bags full of it because it looked like it.
Yeah, it looked great.
It smelled like it. It just it's hemp and didn't have any chemicals in it, whatever those chemicals might be. Yeah. All right. One of the you talked about who knows what was it. One of the things was that they were blotter acid, LSD, correct?
Uh-huh.
All right. And like little postage stamp kind of things.
Yeah, yeah.
And they had tainted some just to mess with people, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of people in camp.
Okay, and there was an announcement over the speaker multiple times.
Yeah.
All
yeah,
right.
they'd tell you, if they had lots of people and what they were taking and not to take it.
Do you have a story about that?
Yeah. one of the guys from Newcastle, we all knew him, but
he wasn't in your group.
Yeah.
But you met up with him there.
Yeah. And he said, "Hey, man, I got this little hit of acid here. I'm going to take it. So keep an eye on me." We're like, "Okay." And he chucks it in his mouth and he swallows it down. He's got a big old smile on his face, and his Adam's apple still bobbing up and down, jerking it down. And yeah. And right when he swallowed it, they came over the PA and said, "Do not take the purple double dome acid."
And that's what he just threw down his gullet.
Yeah. There's several people in the OD tents that has taken this and avoided at all cost. And he's like, "Oh my God!"
No doubt.
Gagging himself and stuff. There's people all around us. Dude,
what are you doing?
Yeah, go hurl out somewhere else.
Okay,
but
and
he turned out okay.
He turned out okay.
Yeah.
All right. Because they were like carrying people, like body surfing, to get them to the edges where they could get them to hospitals and stuff.
Yeah, hell, there's ambulances driving right through the people, sirens blaring and stuff. Yeah, I guess I had to take a lot of people to the hospital, but there was a couple people died. Unfortunately, I think they found them later, afterwards when they were cleaning up. But that many people in one spot, you're lucky. Oh.
There's
That's disgusting.
How could you trust any of those things? I mean, we just told the story about the purple double dome.
Yeah, okay. Purple double dome acid.
All right, and At Woodstock, it was the brown acid, I think, wasn't it? That they kept.
Yeah.
All right, you heard those announcements. The PA must have been pretty.
Oh, it was, yeah. The, the band sounded good.
Okay, that's one thing I don't know. This is dubbed the worst festival in history.
Yeah, I think it's just because the headliners
Didn't show up.
Yeah.
Because the sound system was good.
Yeah, I thought it was all good, man. But I was 16 years old. It was great to me. I had a blast. I'm sure there's people that had bad experiences, but when I was there, all I had was good. Hell, I got to see a bunch of bands. Didn't spend a made
But
it
stay
home
buzzed.
safe.
Stay
Yeah.
buzzed the whole.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. You'd stand up and just yell, "Hey, anybody got a joint?" And he'd pelt you with them. Everybody, yeah, sure.
It seemed like you would have got the munchies at some point.
Oh yeah, you had to power through it.
Power through the munchies.
Yeah, but we did. People left a bunch of food, and they got up and took off. Hell, they just left everything there, and they,
Can you push that door a little bit?
Oh,
That's good. Yeah, she's gonna bark.
but anyways, where was I?
They left food. People left food.
Oh yeah,
On the last day.
there was like a whole case of Campbell, and there was all kinds of different stuff. That soup, and we just threw it all because they left the pans and everything. They just got up and left. So we put a whole bunch of those cans in there and heated it up on the fire, and it was delicious.
After 2 days of not eating anything.
Yeah, yeah, it was awesome. And then I came home after not for 4 days.
Did your mom know you were going? You just
Yes,
your mom knew where you were.
She didn't want to let me go because the first day of school was after Labor Day, and she didn't want me to go. But the neighbor lady said, "Oh, come on, let him go.
Let him be a kid."
Yeah, yeah. That I was way younger than most of the people there. There was other people there with their kids, and I don't think I'd have took a kid. They'd be seeing all that stuff going on right in front of everybody, and it's like, oh, no. But we just stayed high and listened to the music and had fun. The one night that I liked was when Rory Gallagher played. He was just my favorite acts there. And then Flash was playing, and that was the night that everybody burnt the food truck because there wasn't any food out there. And so they knew that, so they were charging $10 a cheeseburger. And it was 72. Man, $10 is a lot of damn money.
Yeah.
Had enough of it, and they torched it. So
greed.
Yeah.
Caused.
Yeah, a big hassle.
Theft.
Yeah, a big.
And destruction.
Yeah, yeah. It was,
that's always going to make this the focus. This is, these piece of crap people did this.
Yeah.
When maybe, I don't know how many did it, but it wasn't.
No.
And
everybody.
And it's a shame that it's the old one apple spoils the whole bunch.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, but it's true.
Yeah.
All
the little towns around there, man, they
freaking out.
Yeah, they had bare shelves in their stores and stuff because all these people piled in there and bought up everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have thought that would have been a good thing, but
I did.
Hey.
I did. What was I? What was I going to say? I did prepare to when we went to the first farm aid. I had stuff to eat, and we took a cooler and put ice in it and poured a fifth of gin in the cooler because it doesn't have any smell, and put uh, Hawaiian punch, cans of Hawaiian punch and loaf of bread and mustard and a slab of bologna in,
Yeah, we didn't carry anything in, I don't think. We were too far away and taking a chance to haul stuff.
All right, and it rained.
Yes.
How do we? So that was it. That was the footage that there's obviously a lot more of it because they filmed everything, but that's 20 minutes of it that let's see, where do we want to go?
There's some pretty sleazy stuff.
Yeah, and obviously the focus of it was, cops were, once nakedness started, that's where the cameras are going to be pointing.
Oh yeah, they sure got
a couple other things here. Monday night on our regular show time, we're doing this on Friday because we had to do a two-parter for Indiana's Woodstock, otherwise known as Bull Island, otherwise known as the Erie Canal Soda Pop Festival.
And the worst festival.
And the worst festival of all time, which is,
I think that's bogus.
Yeah, I haven't been to every festival or any festival, but I've seen a lot of reports of festivals that.
Yeah, I think the second Woodstock was worse.
Oh yeah, yeah. Monday night we're going to have Marty Weaver on. This is Marty right here, right under the Mojo Gumbo with the sunglasses on and the cool hat and the cool. It's just cool. Cool
earbud.
If cool is the rule,
yeah,
Marty Weaver is the definition.
He is
the definition of cool. Mojo Gumbo now.
Governor Davis.
Used to play with Governor Davis. Rest in peace, Governor Davis. What a good dude that guy was. Did you ever meet him?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, what a great guy.
What a good dude that was. He plays with Mojo Gumbo. If you're in the Indianapolis area, just Slippery Noodle or any of the other major blues places around Indianapolis, you'll find these very cool and laying down the blues and the rhythm and blues and the boogie woogie and hold on. So Marty's going to be joining us live on the show 9:00 Monday, and Marty's played with a whole bunch of people.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. This is where I want to get back to, and there we go. Here's Marty Iceland. It's not called the Spiceland Grill. It was the Montgomery Steakhouse. Yes. And Marty's playing with Trish. What are they called? I forget that. They're called something different.
Trish Nicholson Crow.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're out there, I believe, every other Sunday.
Cool.
From 6 to 8. Is that a? That's not a Hammond B3. No, it's a music stand. Okay, I don't have my glasses on.
No, it's a frog. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Okay, so Marty's going to be with us Monday night. Please join us Monday night. I'm saying all that because we might have to cut out this next part. copywritten for it. Well, we will cut it out. I mean, because I'm not, not trying to steal anything from anybody. But let me make sure I got the name right. Bull Island Boogie by the White Duck. Have you ever heard of the White Duck?
Nope.
Okay.
Featuring John Hyatt.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
You remember, what was her name? Joan Baez, one of the Jones, or was it Carly, one of the Carlys? Who wrote Woodstock? They weren't at Woodstock, but they heard the stories and wrote the song Woodstock. It was one of the Jones, wasn't it? Joan Baez.
By the time we get to Woodstock,
yeah,
that was Crosby, Stills.
No, they wrote it.
Oh,
I think Joan Baez. Anyway, this was
Joan Baez was there.
This was the follow-up. This was the song about Bull Island.
You ready to boogie now? All right, let's go. You got it. 300,000 people jammed up in a road, trying to find a place where they can see the boogie. Oh, brother, won't you let this fan on through? We trucked up here from Tennessee to bring some songs to you, with our axle hitting bottom from the riders up on top. Came to do it with you. Who knows when we will stop? Boogie to the Bull Island Band. Boogie just as hard as you can. We set up our own tent city out behind the stand, sharing a case of warm Fall City with the other band. Out in front, the heat's on current, something for the stone. Running out of beer on, we're rolling down an island. We got no place to go. We have to take a chopper for the really rock and roll. On the boogie with the Bull Island Band. Boogie just as hard as you can.
So here's the stage. You were between the light towers?
Yeah.
Okay, is this the center light tower?
No, I think that might be
The sound tower?
the left tower, and then there was the center tower, and then there was one on the right side.
Okay, so left, center, stage left,
Yeah.
and then center would be and then the right tower.
Yeah, center was the one with the guy up there.
I was gonna say-
yeah, the center one.
Okay, and this was at night, right?
Yeah, yeah. And they kept the guy's light man on the end, kept taking the lights and shining them on this dude up on top of the middle one, and he's buck naked and he's up there dancing. And they came up and started yelling at him, hey, this is like probably going to be telling him, keep the lights off of this guy and concentrate on the music. So they, came back down to the stage, and
People started throwing bottles at this guy, trying to get him down, right?
yeah. And he was up there dancing around like everybody was digging him, But anyway, the band started again, and it took about probably less than a minute before they right back up on him again. They had to come out and yell at him again. It was crazy.
So, if this festival would have been more successful, this song would be very well known.
Oh yeah,
You know,
it would be.
but nobody knows about this. I mean, very few people. 300,000 people were there, so
Yeah,
a lot of people
all over the country.
Okay, and they're all these people now are parents,
Yeah,
and their grandkids don't have a clue.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I saw Grandpa down there.
Imagine one of them stumbles onto this,
Yeah.
finds
Oh
a
my-
ticket or something, and goes, "What was this?" And because if you search, our video was bringing authority on Bull Island. Because not that many people that were there have actually talked about it. So,
Some of them never even left it.
some of them don't remember it.
Yeah.
Because like like we've said, I've heard different versions of the Doors. All right, that the Doors never showed up, or the Doors either showed up and were ready to move on to the center of the stage, where everybody for big events like this, you got a massive stage.
Yeah.
And you have your stuff ready to basically roll out.
Yeah, you could probably set up 4 bands
on a big giant stage.
Yeah, and just move one off and move the other ones on. They're already all set up.
Unless it starts raining and the stage fills up 3 inches deep with water.
Yeah.
That was a complaint with one of the bands. Rod Stewart and Faces were at the Evansville airport, and their manager flew over in a helicopter, I believe, and saw what was actually going on.
Yeah.
And that there's no way they're going to get their equipment from the airport to the site to be able to play. Fleetwood Mac never showed.
Yeah.
Allman Brothers didn't show because of Barry Oakley passing away. Almost the exact same spot where Dwayne killed in a motorcycle wreck, almost
exactly a year earlier. Yeah.
And REO Speedwagon, that's one that there are 2 sides. And what's his name? Neil Daughtery.
Oh,
keyboard player for REO.
Yeah.
Said he's not sure.
Okay.
Some people said, yeah, the last day was probably the best because the Doobie Brothers were the last band to play. I
missed that.
That is, but that's also, some say Bang was the last band to play. But the Doobies were the most notable band, maybe.
Mm-hmm. It's, by then.
And Foghat, of course, the boogie.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I seen them.
Power boogie.
I saw them at one of the Busch stadiums. It was maybe the first one. And they all came on stage and had their gold sequin suits on, suit jacket. And, they all dressed the same. They came out and everybody's going, the hell are these guys?
Yeah.
And they came out and started. It's like, oh, very interesting. It was just Savoy Brown, more or less, but they were good. Gee whiz. What a rock band.
And you didn't like Canned Heat. Brownsville Station.
Yeah. They're just a little obnoxious. A lot of people liked him because he just straight ahead rock and roll.
Who wanted to let off the doves as a sign of peace, and they couldn't find doves, so they brought 100 pigeons onto the stage? Was that
Yeah.
Black Oak, Arkansas, or Foghat, or
I don't think it was
Brownsville
Foghat.
Station. Who was that? Do you know? Do you remember?
No, it was probably though Black Oak, Arkansas. Yeah, they made a mess of everything. That. It wasn't. I don't remember who was playing when they did it.
And before I forget, John Hyatt, he wrote the song Bull Island Boogie. And John Hyatt is from
Indiana.
And we'll have to do an episode on Indiana Rocks.
Yes. And I seen
on John Hyatt and
John Hyatt. Yes. One really good guitar player here from Indiana that was from Muncie, around there. And he was very, very good.
And then the John Hyatt that we know.
That has wrote hundreds of songs that everybody
for everybody.
Done. Yeah,
yeah,
they're awesome. Yeah, he's a great player. I had the pleasure of seeing him open up for a week.
That man in the bathtub.
Yeah. Yeah. Gee, I don't know. I can't find him.
All right. Anything else? The yodeler.
Oh, yeah.
There was a dude there that yodeled.
Yeah.
I mean, for those that don't know what yodeling is, can you? Because I can't.
Yeah, I can't.
Okay.
Hell no, I can't.
Google yodeling. There, that was so good and so loud at yodeling that he would yodel from the crowd if there was too long a break between bands.
Yeah.
And the crowd would get into it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think he yodeled before Albert King came out.
All right, that was the opening act, right?
Yeah,
and he was
really good.
Albert King.
Yes.
And then
Big
Mama.
He ended his set, and Big Mama Thornton came out and said, "Oh no, you're not done yet." And they did a few more songs.
How
together.
cool! How cool was that?
Yeah, two legends, man, right off the bat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
You thought this is gonna be great.
Yeah.
And then you find out, what do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean they ain't playing?
Yeah. What? Cotter's not playing?
Yeah.
The Allman Brothers? Well,
Yeah.
I can understand. Yeah, and some of them complained about they didn't have enough wattage or something, and it was making their keyboards flutter in and out of tune, because they didn't have a solid
They didn't have a solid current.
Yeah. And so I know Gentle Giant didn't play because of that. And I think the Doors did the same thing. Or they just didn't show up.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I thought they were up there set up.
It was what? It's 53 years ago now?
72, yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you all for clicking on. Thank you all for watching. We greatly appreciate you. And we'll be back Monday night with Marty Weaver. Doing it every Monday. We're just getting started. This is our 5th episode. We got many
bands to cover.
And we're going to cover some current stuff too. This isn't all. We're going to talk about the upcoming festivals in the summer, because there's a lot of festivals in the Indiana in the
Central
state.
Indiana here.
Well, all over the state, but
yeah,
in Central Indiana, we got Noblesville, we've got Greenfield, we got Newcastle, we got Richmond, I think.
Yeah.
And then that's just.
Well, they got the Paramount in Anderson.
Paramount and Anderson. That's just the East. String Theory. I forget the name of the band.
String
Theory.
Stringfield
Theory.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Stringfield Theory.
Stringfield Theory. We're going to try to have them on. We haven't worked out a date yet. We've got Kevin's going to be coming on. Kevin Silva, I think is his name. Musician. And yeah, so we got, I think that'd be really interesting.
Yeah.
And we've got, who else have we got lined up?
We gotta get Faith Band.
We gotta get one of the guys from Faith Band in. And I'm really looking forward to Marty. Marty's such a good dude.
He is a great guy.
And he's been doing this for so long. Oh my gosh. He's gonna have so many stories.
Oh yeah.
Because he's been doing this for, well, we've known him 30 years, 20 years, 25,
30 at least.
30.
Yeah.
And he's
always a good dude.
He is, man. He's just a good
happy
dude. If you ever get a chance to see Mojo Gumbo, or you live in anywhere near Henry County, I-70 exit, Newcastle Spiceland exit, it's right there, Spiceland Grill. You get a chance to see him and Mojo Gumbo. We'll find out if he's playing with anybody else. He probably is.
Oh yeah,
because he can play any style of music, and he's killer, killer. So thank you all for clicking on. We'll see you Monday night at 9:00. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the share, leave a comment below. You want to help support the channel? Cash App $, American Doofus, AMERICANDUFUS. If you want to contact us at gmail.com. Thanks again for watching, and Melvis,
see you Monday.
See you Monday.